Hi guys, and welcome back to Vape City Reviews with another review. And yeah, I am pumping the reviews out this week, and there's plenty more to come, let me tell you. It's been a very busy week as far as hardware's been concerned. There's probably going to be a review every day for about the next 7 or 8 days. So, today we're taking a look at a product from a company that I've never heard of before. This could be their first product, it may not be their first product, but I have seen around some of the Facebook groups that people are already using this, and I'm assuming that it's already available to buy, which is fucking brilliant because you can watch this video, make a determination, watch a few other reviewers, which you probably have done. I'm a wee bit late to the game with this. And then make a determination on whether that's what you want to do and that's what you want to buy. So, the Oxva Origin pod system, single 18650. It does direct lung. So it's got a variable airflow. It does direct lung, it does mouth to lung, and it has a rebuildable head as well. So we're going to pop down below, we're going to open the box, show you both the coils, we're going to rebuild the little tiny RBA head as best as we can, come back up, going to vape on all the coils and give you my final opinion. How about that? Yay, wee. Okay guys, so here we are down below with the Oxva or Origin kit. Oxva is a company, I believe this is their first pod, but I could be completely wrong, but it's the first time I've heard of the company, and as you can see, we have a whole lot in front of us here to get through, so I'm going to get straight into it. First thing that really impressed me, especially from either a new company or an up-and-coming company, was their packaging. Very nice packaging. It's got everything that you would expect on it, and it also has a little magnetic clasp there on the box. I mean, it's the small things that count. When you open this up, you're presented with your full kit just here, and then it points to the exactly what parts of the system has what's wrote on the pod. So installs a 0.3 ohm coil, 30 to 40 watts mesh coil direct along, 0.5 ohm coil, 20 to 25 watts direct along mesh coil, powered by an 18650. It'll go from 5 to 40 watts, and it is the smallest 18650 pod available on the market. Pod AIO, we'll get into that. This is the device itself, which we will take a look at in a little second. You get your USB cable, again micro USB-C, micro USB, not Type C. But I'm sure Oxford will soon move up to the Type C cables like most of the other companies are starting to do. This is your Oxva warranty card. Absolutely no idea how this will work because I've never used them, but they do get a 6-month warranty on your kit. Oxva Origin User Manual. It's basically one big folded up pamphlet. We've seen these a million times, and it walks you through in a few different languages how to use it, but it's pretty self-explanatory. But not this RBA section. This is something we're going to do now. So you get the two coils, the 0.2 and the 0.3. We'll zoom in a touch here and let you see some of these coils. Okay, so the coil I'm holding now is a 30 to 40 watt 0.3 ohm mesh coil. And you can just see down the mesh in there. As you can see, that cotton is saturated. I have been using this coil, and it direct lung vapes very well, as you'll see up on top. Very good coil. 0.3 ohm, 30 to 40 watts. And then you get the 0.2 ohm coil here, which is a little peripheral pouch, and then you can buy separately a mouth to lung coil. Yes, a pod system with a mouth to lung coil. 10 to 15 watts, 1 ohm. And then you get a thinner board down there, not mesh, round wire, but it's a very good mouth to lung coil, guys. The flavour is really good off this little thing. I'm going to bring the pod system back in. Get a quick look at this. So it's actually quite classy looking, to be honest, guys. It's small, it's portable, but it is quite classy looking. If your drip tip up on top here, which if you see here, it's proprietary. You're not going to get any other drip tip on top of that. So a proprietary drip tip. But it's actually comfortable. It is a comfortable drip tip, and it's on there very tight. Here is where your air is going to come in, and this is just a little window to show you where your juice level is. This bit can get a bit fingerprinty, these sides here, as you can see. But cleaned up, they don't look too bad at all. So, in If you look at the side here, you see where it says open. So you're going to lift there, and that's going to show you the internals of the kit itself. We have the tank section, which I'm going to take out. And you've got the section for the 18650. 2 magnets there, and you've got your 2 magnets on your door. So let's put the 18650 in. And then for the coil, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to use the airflow controller that comes with it. And every single time you change the coil, you need to take the airflow control off and then screw the coil onto the airflow control. Do not toss the coil out because you're going to have your airflow control connected to it. You do not want to toss that out. Keep that, guys, or you're not going to be able to use it. Putting the coil in, simply get it there, push it in, and then the coil is going to sit very, very snug. Very snug, actually, inside the top of the pod. Hold on, let's just try this again. Right, so there we go. So that is in there, nice snug as a bug in the rug, and it's going nowhere. To fill the pod, you're just going to lift this little plastic lever just here, and you're going to fill like that. And filling it horizontally, I found is the best way, rather than tipping it up or tipping it down. Straight in there, happy days, no problem. And I haven't had to take out the second part of the plug. I haven't had any airlock issues with this, which is good, a great thing. You want to take your pod out, easy way to do it, flip it around to the side. There's a little ridge in here to get your nail in, and you can pop the pod out a lot easier than what you can putting it in. Again, airflow control, which is great to see, ticks all the boxes, guys, for a pod system. And the boxes for me for a pod system is, I love the replaceable 18650, I love the airflow controller, and what I also love, let's turn this on. Have I had that battery in the right way? Nope. Variable wattage. It's ticking every single box that I would expect from a pod system. Adjustable airflow, adjustable power, and you've got your screen, and it's just fantastic, guys. Absolutely fantastic for what it is, and it is very, very small for taking an 18650. 2500 milliamp pod system. Who would have thought it? Now, we're going to set this to the side, and we'll give you a wee bit more of my opinions on that when we take the camera back up. But we're going to move in, I forgot to mention that, Oxva tension card, and it's just about the airflow ring and where to set the coil and rotate it properly until it sinks into the cartridge, just like that. Okay, so the bit that I hate, rebuilding these little tiny RBA heads. Now, a lot of people love this because you don't have to purchase coils. I really like it too, but they're very, very small, and they're very, very fiddly indeed. But they can be done successfully, and we're going to attempt to rebuild this little coil today. And we're going to put it into the kit, and we're going to vape it up top. So, I'm using everything that was provided for me. So you get this is the deck itself for the RBA head. This is the top cap. This is the 510 pin, which means you can actually screw it onto a mod to bed in the coils. And again, you get another airflow control ring. Okay. You also get your magic blue screwdriver. You get a pre-made coil. You get a wee bit of cotton, and you get some O-rings, and then that's just the box that it comes in. So we're going to clear this away. We're going to clear this away, and we're going to just be needing these. Okay, so here's where things get interesting, guys. I'm actually going to be coiling this. I'm going to need to move this out of the way ever so slightly. I'm going to be coiling this actually looking through the camera because it's just very, very, very small indeed. So you get your two posts. We've got a post here and a post here. And then if you turn it this way, you're going to see cutting down in there, and you're cutting down in there, and then when you put that chimney on, that's where your cutting's going to be shown on either side. So that's the whole sort of premise of the rebuildable section. So we're going to use the coil that comes with it. I believe this coil is meant to come out to a 0.6 ohm. So we're going to look just for the little ledge. We better show you this first. So on the right hand side of this screw is a little ledge. I'm turn it around, the right hand screw on this side is a little ledge. So you want the wire, first wire, to be set resting into that little ledge, which we're going to do now with. Okay, that's one end. Okay, one end in, then one end in there, and we're just going to bend that round just so slightly. Okay, so I've got the wires wrapped around the screws here, guys, and I'm just holding on to them with my fingers. When you're doing this, once you get one wire around, give it a little screw down just so it stays in place. And you don't want to be tightening it down too hard immediately, because you're going to want to manipulate that coil as soon as it's you've got both sides tightened down enough where you're going to be able to use it and manipulate the coil. Okay, we're going to try that again. That one popped out on me. It's the joy of these little tiny RBA heads, guys. They're very small, they're very fiddly, and you got to be very precise with your initial installation of the coil, just because you can get a bit of movement in them. So that's both wires in, wrapped around the coil there. So I will be able to pull these wires out of touch on either side. And then I'm going to find me some snips. Okay, and then you're going to want to get in as tight as you can, especially with this, and snip away the unused wire. Round to this side, snip away the unused wire. So once your coil's in, it's going to look something like that. Now what I want to do with this coil, because as you can see with the airflow sitting directly underneath, that's where the air's coming in from. It's coming in from nowhere else apart from underneath the coil, just here. So I want to drop that coil down a bit so it's sitting a little bit closer to the airflow. But again, you don't want it touching the base. Okay, you don't want it touching the base, or you don't want it touching either side of the deck, or it's going to short out on you. So just enough to get it a wee bit closer to that airflow. That looks good there. And then I think I can maybe get a little bit more of that wire off, because this is something that when you screw it back together and you see atomizer short, it's because of these little things here. They're going to catch on the top cap, and 90% of the time that's what that's what the shorting issue is going to be, because it can get tricky getting in nice and tight. If your snippers are too big, I recommend nail clippers. Nail clippers are very good for getting in tight with these wires, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. So just to ensure that I do get in completely as tight as I can, that one there is not too bad, it's this one here. So we're going to get in with the nail clippers. Okay, let's just double check this side. And done. So that's the coil in place, guys. Now the next thing we're going to want to do, which isn't particularly necessary, because the coil is spaced. The coil's not actually touching any of the other coils around it, but it does give you the ability to do it, so I may as well show you. It does give you a 510 adapter, so we can screw our RBA head onto a 510 adapter, and then let's just take this camera out of touch, and we can put that 510 into a mod, and then we can see the ohms of the coil, see if we're shorting out, and bed them wee coils in as well. So quick fire, yep, that's reading at 0.58, which is roughly about the 0.6 that Oxva is saying. So I'm going to give a few pulses, and you just want to see that glowing red from the inside out. Look at that, perfect right away. Again, with space coils bedding in, it doesn't really matter. there's really not much to it. So cotton, will I use the cotton that comes with it? May as well. We'll use the cotton that comes with it. That's how Oxva want you to use it initially. So we'll use the cotton that comes with it. It's a single copper strand. It's not Muji cotton. It feels a bit like cotton bacon to me. It's nice and fluffy and whatnot. So not going to need all this. We'll snip this off at the end. So you're going to want to feed your cotton through the coil, and then once it gets to that sort of tough ear bit, just give it a twist. Twist around, twist around, twist around, and then yeah, just like that. So not too tight through that coil and not too loose through that coil. Now scissors. So, scissors, where we're going to snip these. So, if you look down here, as I showed you at the start there, guys, this is your juice flow intake. And you don't want to stuff that with cotton. You just want a little bit of cotton sitting down into it. So, I'm going to cut in pretty close. And I'm going to use this in mouth to lung mode. So, I'm going to be putting some of my own... or do you know what, actually? I'm not. I'm going to put in some Zeus juice. Dodo berry, 20mg Nick salts. Oh, yummy. Okay, so I like putting some e-liquid onto the cotton before I tuff the cotton into the working ports. It just makes that cotton a little bit more pliable and a little bit easier to work with. Now, if I bring that down, I can see that I've got far too much cotton there. It's going to completely fill up that channel, so I need to snip a little bit more off. And I find that wetting the cotton gives you a wee bit more. It gives you a bit more information as to whether you have too much or too little cotton. So let's just tuck that cotton down in there, just like so. And the only real important thing is, guys, you don't want the cotton hanging over the threads, because what's going to hold this cotton back is the top cap, which is going to thread on here. So you don't want the cotton getting stuck in the threads. Other side, obviously it's going to be two-way. It's going to be too long for basting it on the first part, so we'll cut that, and then we're going to tuck the cotton down again into this juice port. Nice and gentle, don't need to push it too hard. You don't want it choking off. And it's going to look something like that. Now, what's going to happen here is when I put the top cap on, and we're going to put it on nice and gently. Okay, you see them little tufts of cotton. We're going to you're going to want to not screw it right. You want to sort of de-thread it first, just to catch the first thread. Okay, we've got that screwed on, and then you're going to see coming out of here a little bit of cotton and a little bit of cotton. As we're going to be using this mouth to lung style, you can be a wee bit more forgiving with the cotton and put a bit more in. If you're using it the rack lung style, you want to maybe keep the cotton out of the imports and just stopping the juice from flowing up and flooding the deck. But we are going to use this one mouth to lung style, so we're going to take it off this mod. And then we're going to unscrew the 510 adapter. They thought of everything. Oxva really thought of everything that you're going to need. Airflow control ring. Is good to go. And then we're going to take the stock coil out of the tank. And then we're going to put this one into the tank. There we go. And then for the airflow, guys, I'm not going to want full airflow on this. It's mouth to lung. I like a nice tight mouth to lung, so we're going to use the airflow roughly about there. And then I want to fill my tank up. Again, using Zeus juice, Dodo berry. the smell from that liquid is just delicious. Sorry guys, I keep going off camera just because we're so zoomed in. Let's take this back out a bit, you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to close this up, and that's my little pod filled. We've got the RBA head coiled and wicked, and now we're going to get it back into the device. So we're going to take the back panel off. And again, I find this the hardest part of the operation. I find is getting the pod back into the device. It's usually it can be quite stubborn at times if you haven't got it right. So nice and easy that time. Airflow mostly shut off, just a little bit open for that mouth to lung kick, and then we're going to want to just set it back on with the magnets just there. And there we have it. That is me coiled and wicked on the Oxva Origin AIO system, and it is recognizing that focus new coil 0.60, bang on the money. So guys, that is it for the Oxva Origin down below. Thanks for taking your time with me, go through that. We're going to take it back up top now. We're going to vape on this one that we've put in right now, and I've also got a clip of me vaping the direct lung coils, which we will slide in somewhere. So let's take it back up top. Okay guys, so slotting this part into the review, obviously, because I need tank free for the rebuildable coil. So I did mind some slotting this in, so I'm slotting it in now, and I do have in the mouth to lung coil now. It is in the red and black one, which I've took the fucking battery out of. Let's get a charged battery. So just to give my opinion on the direct lung coil, again that's smart. The smart wattage is reading that absolutely perfect. Bang on 30 watts and 0.28 ohms. So it's a 0.3 mesh coil, but the smart wattage takes it to exactly where it needs to be. So 30 watts. We've got that airflow wide open. It should be wide open. It is airflow wide open, and let's go for that direct lung draw. Now I'm using Rochford Project Black Vein in this. I normally use Red Star, which I will be switching over to, just because I know the flavour so well, but I just don't fancy the wee change. It's nice. It would probably be a better flavour if they added a touch of blackcurrant to it, but it is what it is. I get flavour from this thing. Brilliant. So the thing for me is, kids trying to do direct lung and mouth to lung. Can I do a mouth to lung draw with the airflow wide open? Not really. And that's a good thing. That's a really good thing, because this should only be able to do direct to lung. So I like it for direct lung. I really do. Works extremely well as a direct lung device. That freaking microphone's causing a shadow. How about that? Works extremely well as a direct lung device. Not my preferred style of direct lung. It's a bit restrictive, but it does work very well. I have been using this and this as my only vapes. I carry Frost 20 milligram and usually Red Star, just fancy the quick change. So direct lung and mouth to lung, and I've been using these two devices, and that's it. Nothing else I have been using, and they've worked an absolute treat. So direct lung coils in the Oxva Origin is fantastic. 0.3 ohm ones, very, very good for flavour. So I'm gonna jump cut it again now, and we will go back to the original review. Bye. Wee. So there you have it, guys. That was my opinions on the direct lung coils from the Oxva kit, and yeah, it does do the restrictive direct lung very well indeed. So in this one, I have the 1 ohm coil, vaping it at 12 watts. It goes between 10 and 15, and I think 12 is sort of around my sweet spot for it. With my normal, what have I got in this one? What have I got in this one? I think it's just my normal, yeah, it's my normal Frost and Strawberry Whip Mix from Element Nixels. So 12 watts, mouth to lung. You know when you're seeing that type of vapor production that it's either shite or good, but the flavour is. I've been really, really surprised, because I'd never heard of the company. The thing feels, it doesn't feel cheap, it does still feel premium. There's metal on here, but just because it was a new company, I didn't have high expectations. But the flavour coming from that mouth to lung coil, oh my god. That's another one that's going to stay in the rotation. My rotation's getting bigger. I'm going to have to kick something out to put that in. So yeah, and that's the mouth to lung coil. Very, very, very much recommended if you're into your pod systems and you like swapping in and out 18650 batteries. And I am sweating. Definitely. Just go and get one. If you just want to finish the video now, go pick one up. You're going to fall in love with it. So the rebuildable head, how did I do with the rebuildable head? So got this one, it's at 15 watts, maybe a wee bit too low for a 0.6 ohm coil. So I've got it up at 20 watts here, and we'll take mouth to lung draws from that. Absolutely beautiful. I could maybe tighten down that airflow a little bit more for myself. I do like it tight as a tiger. Now, you've seen down below on the table how quick I got that in, and there we go. So, new coil. Yes, I know it's a new coil. Please let me play with it. 20 watts again, tighter airflow. Beautiful. Now, there's a little bit of break-in period there with that cotton. I can still get a wee bit of the cotton taste, but I'm tasting the full flavour of the liquid. That Dodo Berry by Zeus Juice is a very flavoursome liquid, and it's coming through in leaps and bounds. Again, 0.6 ohm does seem... It does seem pretty low ohmed for a mouth to lung coil, but I mean, I vape 0.8 coils day in, day out for mouth to lung, and it's a pretty small coil. It's going to work it up just fine, and the vape, as you can see, is fantastic. Absolutely lovely. My preference out of all three is going to be the 1 ohm mouth to lung coil, and just using the system in mouth to lung mode. It's got for me it's perfect. That is a perfect pod system. I did have one con, just one single solitary con with this device, is the fire button being recessed in like that. It's very hard to sort of pick it up and find the button, and even if I'm there on the button, it's not going to fire. I have to sort of get in a wee bit to fire. So the recess button would be my only con about the device, but that's it. It has everything that a pod system needs. Replaceable battery, good job. A variable power, good job. And adjustable airflow, good job. And great flavour on the coils, good job. So for me, they have created, in my opinion, the perfect pod system, minus that fire button, which is just a... Look, I have to be nitpicky. I have to point out the things that I think some people might get upset at, or some people might not like. 95% of people, I would assume, would not think of that as an issue, but it's just something that, as a reviewer, I feel duty bound to point that out. So, yeah, that's the way I would configure my Oxva Origin mouth to lung mode, 1 ohm coils all the way. That's it. It just shines, really, really shines. And as I said, that's staying in my rotation. So guys, there you go. That is it from the Oxva Origin. Thanks for taking the time to watch this all the way to the end. Definitely a long video because of the build. It's very, very panicky building them. And I know I was out of frame a couple of times just because I was so zoomed in. The little RBA heads are difficult. If you're new to building, you're going to find it quite tricky to build that RBA. I've been building for years, and again, I I had to bring that sort of off cam and very close to myself to get that build right. I'm trying to do it. I mean, I have a microphone in the way. I have cameras sitting maybe this. So this is the camera, and this is where I'm building, and my two hands are sort of trying to go in between. So it's quite difficult to do them little RBAs on cam. But as you can see, it does work, and it does work very well. If I was to mark it out of 10 for a AIO, I can't call it a pod system. It's an AIO. If I was to mark the kit out of 10, it's going to get an 8 out of 10. I'm taking a point off for the fire button because I don't like that. And I'm taking a point off because they don't include the mouth-to-lung coil. It's the two direct lung coils they include in the box. I feel they should have put in a direct lung coil and a mouth-to-lung coil because it does promote that it can do both. So 8 out of 10. Great score, guys. Absolutely great score. And it's that good a system. It's getting into my regular rotation. So, guys, big thanks to Oxva for sending out the samples free for the purpose of this review. And a big thanks to you guys if you stayed all the way to the very end. How you did that, I don't fucking know. But that's me for this one. Oh, have a wee. Hope you have an awesome time. Hope you have an awesome time. That's how do I finish? Okay, guys, that's it from me. Hope you have a bloody awesome day. Have a good one. Take care and bye. Wee.